So in my last vlog, I borrowed these 4 books from the library and I thought it'd be perfect time to read them. I originally wasn't going to include You and Me and You and Me and You and Me in this video because at first I wasn't loving it that much and I just didn't really have much to say, but then I did want to talk about it. And so I started filming me reading it a little bit. So I'll insert those clips here, but I'm already finished with this one. So I'm currently reading You and Me and You and Me and You and Me. I kind of hate this title for some reason, but anyway, this is about a married couple, Adam and Jules, and they've been married for almost 25 years. Their anniversary is coming up in the book and they're just stuck in a rut right now. Things have happened throughout their lives that just made them lose their spark. 2 of their adult children have moved back in with them, still living with them because things happened to them as well. And they're kind of going through it right now. And Adam finds these mixtapes that they used to make for each other when they were younger throughout their earlier years of dating. They used to make each other mixtapes and give them to each other. And it was like this really wholesome part of their relationship. And he plays one of them one day and he time travels back in time to the moment he gave it to Jules. So he finds out playing this mixtape specifically in this old machine, it takes him back in time to the moment they gave it to each other. So there's this element of magical realism in the book. And I think my issue with it here is that when I'm reading about magical realism, I always am ready for this level of silliness in a book. But they just have so many real life problems. And I know it's magical realism, but still, I feel like it's taking away a little bit from the whimsy of it all. I kind of also feel like the plot point is time travel, which is such an interesting thing to write about, but also the authors are doing it in such a boring way. An example of why I think it's kind of mundane and falling flat for me is one time Jules, she did her time travel thing, and the thing that she changed was telling him he needs to put the toilet seat down. And so that changed their entire life and all the memories because he learned that day, okay, she hates when I leave the toilet seat up. That's such a mundane and small thing in lots of couples, right? But it's just you're time traveling in a book, do something with it. And as I said, I'm only halfway through, so more can happen, things can change, but it's been so dry like that. Does that make sense? I just feel like more should be happening, bigger things should be happening, change something more. I guess they're also kind of scared that it can change the bigger things. What if she goes back and she does something and she changes the fact that she has kids, that would be quite tragic because obviously she loves her kids, right? So they don't want to change too much and they're scared of it, but it's just it's making the book boring. Each chapter is named after a song. This one, chapter 5, Groove, is in the Heart. And it took me until chapter 9 to actually realize that they were real songs because apparently I'm so uncultured and I don't know any of these songs. But chapter 9's song was Hey Ya by Outkast, so I finally recognized it. And I was like, oh, these are real songs. I really should stop listening to 200 minutes of Harry Styles songs every week and explore different artists and genres, but yeah. Anyway, I guess my biggest point on this book so far is good idea, poor execution, but I'm still kind of curious about how it's gonna go. So I'm gonna continue reading it. And honestly, it's not that bad. It's just very it's just a little bit flat. It's just a little bit mediocre. This is a book, so far it just feels fine. Every book I read isn't gonna be the greatest book ever. And my favorite book ever, it just feels fine. It's not bad by any means. I just wish it did more. After I made the update earlier saying that I feel it's falling flat and nothing's really happening. Like they're going back in time to do boring married people stuff. Everything just started hitting the fan. Everything started going wrong, and they were going back and making bigger changes, which is something that I literally wanted, but it was not working in their favor. I think that's the whole point. Like, you can't mess with the universe like that and not face the consequences. I get that, but it got so depressing. Out of nowhere, it just got so sad. I'm like, this is not what I ordered. Adam started to disappoint me, and it's always extra sad when a fictional man disappoints me. Things started going wrong with the kids. Just everything was an absolute mess. And for a second there, I was like, how are we gonna turn it around? Because you took so long to start the mess. Because when I said I was like halfway through, I was actually close to 200 pages. And that was like kind of deep into the book. And so as all of this mess is happening, I'm like, okay, so how are we gonna turn it around? How are we going to be okay? This was a roller coaster, and I don't really recommend it. I am glad that I finished it. I was really curious about it. I wanted to know what was gonna happen to them. And it's basically just one long way of saying be careful what you wish for. But I don't really recommend this. It like feels a little bit too mundane in the beginning, and it feels like it's just falling flat as a story and not doing enough. And then out of nowhere, so much emotional turmoil. Like, relax. So yeah, I'm giving this 2.5 stars because there were some moments that I was entertained, and good message. I think there were also like 1 or 2 quotes that I liked. I also started to recognize the music more. So yeah, that's how I feel about that. 2.5 stars. So these are the other 3 books that I have. I have It's a Love Story by Annabelle Monaghan. I have The Singer Sisters by Sarah Seltzer. Seltzer. That's a word, right? Seltzer, that's like a drink. Or am I thinking of something else? Anyway, I swear I'm not stupid. But We Could Be Rats by Emily Austen is the last book I have. And honestly, before bed, I'm going to like read either the first page or the first chapter of all 3 of these books and then choose. I don't actually know which one I'm going to pick. You will find out tomorrow morning. So last night after I finished that one, I said I was going to read the first page or chapter of these to see which one I'm going to read next. And honestly, I didn't do that. I ended up just reading the description of We Could Be Rats by Emily Austen and just choosing this one. I don't know, it spoke to me, it moved me, and I know that I love Emily Austen's writing. Right now I'm actually gonna go to Barnes because I'm very specifically looking for one book, and I feel like I never have a plan. I'm always just going in and browsing, and I'll probably browse around a little bit, maybe see if there's anything else I want, but very specifically wanting one book. So got the one book that I was specifically looking for, and that is Annie John by Jamaica Kincaid. Jamaica Kincaid is an author from my hometown. The funny story behind this book is basically there was a point in time where I was like, I feel like I should go home. I feel like I should visit home for the first time in years. And I had that thought, didn't say it out loud, didn't tell anyone. And then the next morning, I wake up to a message from my mom saying that I should come home to do something very specific, but I won't get into that. And I was just like, that's spooky. And then like later that day, this book came up on something, like maybe Fable, Goodreads, something, but this is a book obviously by the author from my hometown, but also this is a book specifically about our hometown. And I was just like, what is going on? I also feel like in my last vlog I was reading Sunburn, and I was talking about how much the way she described how she felt about her small town is how I feel as well, and just all of the descriptions of it was reminding me a lot of home. And there was this sense of like nostalgia, like I miss it and I want to go home, but I also, it's not 100% a positive feeling. Anyway, I just thought that I should read this. Jamaica Kincaid is known to be a really amazing writer, and I haven't read anything by her since school, so I want to read it now when it's not required reading. Annie John, the story of a young girl coming of age in Jamaica Kincaid, tore open the theme that lies in the heart of her fierce, encountering novels, the ambivalent and essential bonds created by a mother's love. Yeah. I also did mention when I was reading Sunburn that I love reading books about mother-daughter relationships, because I feel like it makes me understand why things were the way that they were when I was growing up. And what more is going to make me understand than a book that was actually quite literally set on the island that I grew up and written by the person who is also from there. So I feel like this tiny book is going to ruin me, but it's going to be a very deeply personal experience because it's where I'm from. Yeah, that's what I specifically went to get. So I told myself I was only gonna get one more book, and The Laws of Love and Logic was like really calling my name for some reason. I kept doing laps around the store and I was like, should I get this one? I don't know. I think it was like kind of calling my name, but I'm like, I can get it another day. When I looked it up on Goodreads, one of the first reviews I saw said, for fans of Blue Sisters and Broken Country. Blue Sisters is one of my favorite books of all time, and I loved Broken Country when I read it, so that to me is high praise. And so yeah, I'm definitely gonna look into that one. But the book that I ended up getting instead is Almost Life, and that's because this book is on my 2026 TBR. I put this book on my 2026 TBR since mid-December last year when I was making my annual TBR and like looking up books that I wanted to read and new releases, and I'm really excited for this. Basically, the way that I decided to go with this one is I told myself I'm gonna go on Goodreads and see which one had higher reviews, and now that I'm saying that, I realize maybe it's not exactly fair because this one isn't even out yet. Today is the 20th and this book comes out in 4 days, I think. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to come out next Tuesday. So maybe that's why it's a high rating, because it's just like people reading the arc. I don't know, but this one had 4 point something stars and the other one had 3 point something. Both great, and I'm still really looking forward to that. I'll just get that another time. One of the first reviews I actually saw on this one was, it's normal people but lesbians, and I feel like, again, high praise. I love normal people. Yeah, those are the 2 books that I got at Barnes today. I just realized got a little theme going on. I also wanted to talk about these 2 books that I got on Pango Books. This one's Slanting Towards the Sea. I remember last summer I saw people reading this. I saw one person. I think at the time she had the arc and she gave it such high praise. I remember back when I was scrolling on TikTok, and I've been wanting to read it since then, and I was like, I'll save it for next year, because at the point that I finally was thinking to get around to it, it was fall. So I think this would be perfect for now. And yeah, I kind of don't remember what it's about, but I was scrolling Pango Books and it was $8, so I thought that was the perfect opportunity to snag this. I think this is also on my 2026 TBR. Getting it for such a low price, hardcovers for $8. I had to pay like $3.99 for shipping, but still, that's still so much less than what hardcovers originally cost. So this next one, Wild Dark Short, is actually the book that I was looking for on Pango Books. The reason why I was looking for it like secondhand, well, one, my library, the wait time in my library for this book, and it's like just one that everyone always is checked out. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to find it secondhand instead. But one of the reasons why I was looking for it secondhand versus just buying it new is because I don't know how I feel about it. I see everyone reading it and loving it, but for some reason there's a part of me that's like, I don't know how I will feel about it. I don't know if I will love it, and the only way to find out is to read it, right? So I decided to look for it secondhand, half price, actually more than half off, but this one was also, I think this one was like $7.50, and then I had to pay for shipping. So yeah, still a great price, and it's someone's book of the month pick. I don't know. It also has, right here, it has this little thing that says it won a Lolly, the Lolly 2025. I don't even know what award that is. And you can't see this, but there's this like clear sticker. I don't know if it's gonna show, but it's like this big thing that says it won the Lolly 2025. Another reason that I finally pulled a plug on this one is because I saw that it was on, I think it was the fictions list. I can't remember. I'm gonna put it on the screen, but I saw that it was on a list that had other books that I was interested in, and I was like, this is winning so many awards. Maybe I should finally check it out. Those are the two that I got on Pango Books, and those are two that I got from Barnes, and that's my book haul. I've been so indecisive with books, and I am realizing the thing is that I want to read the writing that's usually in contemporary fiction or literary fiction. I want that type of writing, but I want a happy or hopeful story. And with fiction books, you literally never know what you're gonna get. They could literally all die at the end of the book. You never know what's going to happen. And there's always, not always, I just feel like the ones I pick up anyway, there's often themes of like just this tone of hopelessness. And I don't want that all the time. I've been finding that reading before bed has been kind of difficult to me. I'm just like, I'm gonna sleep, because I don't want to have these like existential thoughts before bed. It's making me anxious. I should be resting, winding down. And so I haven't been reading a lot at night. But throughout the day, I like feel fine, and I'm down to read these types of books. And I always like the writing of these types of books. That's why I picked them up. But I am just realizing I need to find more hopeful, happy contemporary fiction books or literary fiction books. Books with, I don't know, better, lighter tones. I don't know. I think you understand what I'm trying to say. It made me think of Anxious People, because that book, the end of it, like I finished that book and I felt so good about life, and it made me want to like connect with human beings. Something like that. But that was also just like the writing of Frederick Backman, of course. He writes contemporary literary fiction. So yeah, kind of looking for more of that. This book is obviously a continuous, well, right now, I don't know how it's going to end, but right now it's just chapter after chapter of a girl trying to write her suicide note. And so it's obviously pretty heavy. It's just a heavy topic. I shouldn't be reading that before bed. The thing about me feeling indecisive about what to read as well is like, it's not that I'm disliking any of these books. I just I don't know, I want to hop around and read different things, which usually isn't my thing. I don't usually read multiple books at the same time, but I think I'm going to try doing that and see if that helps. Maybe daytime book, nighttime book, or just whatever I'm in the mood for. It's not nighttime right now, but I do kind of feel like I want to start this. I don't know. I'll keep you updated, but that's how I've been feeling. Every time I'm having like an off week where my mind is racing and I don't know, I just have terrible brain fog. I feel like nothing's going right up there. And I'm overthinking a lot. When I get into bed to go to sleep, I'm not falling asleep right away. I'm literally awake for a whole hour just overthinking for no reason. And then my period starts. I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense, and it's such a relief. It feels like those moments, in that moment when it's happening, I'm not thinking about the fact that, yeah, I'm just in this phase of the month where before my period, like this is a thing, but I'm just thinking this is going to last forever, and it's a downward spiral. Like it's so bad in the moment. And then my period starts and it's just like, oh, what a relief that this isn't forever. That's just how I've been feeling for the last couple days. I spoke about my indecisiveness when it comes to picking a book, and it's just everything with my mind right now. It's just not very clear. Anyway, I have been reading It's a Love Story. I never explained what this was about, but basically it's about this woman named Jane Jackson, and she works in Hollywood, but she's not really successful right now. She's trying really hard to get a script sold, or I don't know the exact terminology, but she's trying to get them to make a movie out of the script that she chose. And she's just had a couple years of failures, and she feels like everyone around her that she grew up with is really successful and making it. The thing is, she was a child actor, and an embarrassing one. Well, her experiences to her, she finds it embarrassing. She was like the butt of the joke on this TV show that she grew up doing, and everyone else was like the popular, beautiful ones, and she wore braces, and it was that kind of thing, that kind of cliche type of thing. She was butt of the joke, as I said, and she kind of is still holding on to that shame throughout her adult years. And it's just also the fact that she isn't successful right now. She keeps looking at the Instagram of her other peers, and it's like they've made it and she hasn't yet. So she's just feeling really down about it, and she feels like she really needs her script to be made into a movie. The male main character of this book, Dan, he is one of the people that turned down her script the last time, so that's why her script didn't become a movie, and now she kind of hates him. It's kind of like an enemies to lovers kind of situation. Maybe not rivals. Yeah, kind of enemies to lovers. You know, enemies to lovers in romance books is always really mild. They don't actually hate each other. It's not like there are no stakes. Nothing's really on the line, but she definitely doesn't like him because of that. And they just don't have the best friendship or anything because of it, or work relationship because of that. But now they're trying to get the same script to be made into a movie because they actually finally agreed on a script, and they're the only two people who really wants this movie to be made. So in a meeting of her trying to get this script to be made into a movie, it felt like her last chance, and she decided she was going to tell them she knows this really famous singer who is someone she worked with when she was a kid, so technically she does know him, but they don't have any kind of relationship. They haven't spoken in like 17 years, so it was sort of a lie. And now she has to go find him at this music festival, and Dan is like, you lied, okay, well, now we have to go find him because he also really wants this to become a movie. And they are going to the music festival and staying at Dan's family home in Long Island. So it's also like close proximity. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. They're at the family home, and his entire family thinks that she is his girlfriend, but they barely like each other. Yeah, very cliche romance. I think we all know where this is going. I am having a good time reading it, honestly, and I think now I know why I was in such a weird headspace. I know that something like this is probably best for me to be reading right now. I need some joy in my life. I'm a little bit sick right now, and it caused me to wake up at 4:30 a.m. and I couldn't go back to sleep, so I just finished this out last night. Kind of hate that, but also at least I was entertained. I actually really loved this book, and I'm shocked at how much I loved it because, as I said, I have such a weird relationship with Annabelle Monhen's books. I don't know if I said that in this video or my last video, but basically I hated Nora Goes Off Script and I really loved Summer Romance. It was like one of my favorite romance books of that year. And yeah, it was like, how is one so good and the other one I like hated it so much? So I didn't know what to expect when it comes to this one, and I feel like even on Goodreads I see a lot of people loving it and a lot of people hating it, so I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel. I absolutely did love it though. The main character of this book, she's kind of quirky, and I feel like not everyone will love that, but I found it very endearing, and it's so funny because I did mention she was an actress as a child, and since I found that out, I kept thinking about Nickelodeon, very specifically Nickelodeon. Like, for some reason I was not thinking Disney at all. Just the way that her character was described just gave me Nickelodeon. And the first line of the acknowledgement says, I started thinking about Janie Jakes after I read Jeanette McCurdy's memoir. So Janie Jakes was like who she was on that TV show when she was an actress when she was younger. And so it's like, wow, that makes so much sense actually. I also mentioned that they go back to his hometown and they're staying with his family. I love the family so much. I was actually sad when they had to go home to LA, and the family was everything. That's the kind of family you meet and you're like, yeah, I'll marry into this family. Everyone was just so wholesome, and I don't know, it was a little bit chaotic, but they were so much fun. And I loved the descriptions of Long Island. I don't know, that portion of the book, I loved that the book was mostly in Long Island versus LA. I just loved when they were with his family. She just fit in there so well, and it just all fell into place for me. And I just feel like, yeah, you guys are meant to be. Look at that, that's your family now. There's also a part of this book where she has some difficulties with her own parents, and she has her own insecurities, and seeing her overcome all of that was really nice. There was also a part where she acknowledges how much she holds on to shame, and I just felt like that hit a little too close to home. But like in a good way. It's nice to see yourself in books, even if it's not the most positive reflection. It's still nice to feel seen. I think the last thing I want to say about this book is that I have realized with the last few romance books that I've read, some of them have been dual point of view. This one is just in the female main character's point of view, and I'm realizing that I kind of like single point of view now. Like, maybe unpopular opinion, but I was always for dual point of view like everyone else. I know we all love to see what the man is thinking because sometimes it's really hard to even, like, do you even like her type of thing. Dual point of view has been great for so long, But yeah, recently, my unpopular opinion is just I'm loving the one point of view. I think it leaves me a little bit curious. I feel like one of the reasons why I loved dual point of view so much is for the inevitable third act breakup. Like, I need to know what everyone's thinking during this third act breakup. And even though this book did have a third act breakup, I don't know. I think it left a little bit of mystery, like how he was feeling. I liked just seeing him tell her and not being in his thoughts, if that makes sense. And when they finally reconciled, it was nice to just see them have their own conversation. And so, I don't know, I feel like I don't need dual point of view as much as I felt like I have in the past. Really loving single point of view romance books right now. Random. But yeah, I'm rating this 4.5 stars. Also, I feel like I've been rating a lot of romance books 4.5 stars. They're really good, but they're just like not the perfect 5-star read. I liked this one a lot though, and I think it was one of those things where I read it at a time where I was just needing something like this to really enjoy. So yeah, 4.5 stars for It's a Love Story. Honestly, a surprise for me. The last couple days has been so rough. The flu and my period at the same time, it feels like someone was trying to take me out. Also, I accidentally cut my face, that's why I have a band-aid on my face. I'm just going through it a little bit. Anyway, I finished We Could Be Rats, and this book honestly took such an unexpected turn. Why did like Loki turn into a mystery? I feel like I can't even say much because it'll be spoilers, but somewhere around 140 pages in, the truth of the story comes out, and there's literally a part of it called The Truth in this book. Like, we're getting all of her notes and then it turns into the truth, and we start learning more about her sister and her best friend Greta, and I really started to connect more when we learned about her sister and Greta. I feel like it really showed us why she is the way that she is, and also the people in this small town are all connected in kind of a messed up way, and learning about that was like, what? Like, what is going on? It was overall a pretty sad book, but still a great book. I really loved the way that it turned out. I kind of liked this aspect of it that was like just so hit me in the face and unexpected. And the first part of it was a little bit slow for me, but still really good. We ended, I can't say we ended on a positive note considering the themes of this book, but I mean, it ended on a positive reading experience. That's what I'll say. I've decided I'm gonna rate this one 4 stars. I'm so sorry for all of my brain fog this week, but if you enjoyed this video anyway, give it a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next week, and hopefully it'll be better. Bye.